All right, welcome to another Take the Wrestling podcast. Here is, what's today's date? Today's April 12th, recording April 12th, 2020. I'm your host, Earnest Christian. Coming. Yay. We are still locked down in our homes here. On the line, of course, there's the Wrestling Savants, Mike Bernier, Joe Lopez. Fellas, it's been about almost 2 weeks since we last spoke.
You may be locked in your home.
I guess.
I go out.
Well, Michael, say it again.
You might be locked in your home. Me, on the other hand, not so much.
You been going out too?
I mean, I need groceries. I'm fat.
Oh no! Well, I mean, I've been doing the same thing too. So I've been utilizing this week for the first time the curbside stuff now, like where I order online and the next day I just come pick it up. Not bad.
Yeah, I don't really use any of that stuff.
Not bad, actually. Not bad. I've done delivery yet. I'm kind of scared of delivery because I don't trust these fucking people on the road with my food. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know, man. But
you know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? How you guys holding up?
Dude, I'm awesome, bro. I've been out every single day. I go out, I drive around, I come here, we play video games. Dude, I've talked to a couple of sheriffs, and the sheriffs have basically told us that during the hours of operation that stores and stuff are open, you can go out and the cops will not bother you.
Oh yeah, I've been doing it too. I've been taking drives on the streets, on the beach to kind of keep my anxiety low. You know what I mean? Because I can't look. I love being home all the time, but with two kids, it's a challenge. And then sometimes I gotta get the fuck out of the house, gotta get some fresh air. You know what I mean? And get some vitamin D. You know what I mean? And then I'm back home, I'm fine again. So.
You just sounded.
Yep. So anyway, let's get to some of the news bites from this week. Mike, your favorite tag team in the whole world, Revival, finally get their release from WWE. How happy are you?
Top guys out.
AEW Brown?
Eventually.
Okay. Here's the question, everybody. I don't think no one has the answer to this yet. Is there a no-compete clause right now?
No, there isn't.
They can sign right now.
If AEW hadn't already taped its next 5 weeks of TV, sure.
Right, but if they want to be a member of AEW right this second, they can.
Yeah, I mean technically, yes.
Okay, sounds good.
Why? Because they mutually decided to part ways?
I guess, I don't know. I just remember reading somewhere that there's no non-compete clause at this point. Their contracts might have just expired. You know, once a contract expires, that's it.
Yeah,
I heard they were released, so I don't know if that means that they made it.
I thought it said that they mutually agreed to part ways.
Right, that's the way I interpreted
See,
that.
but also at the same time, didn't you also hear that these guys were sitting at home not getting paid for the last couple of months? So, I mean, I don't know how much of a release it is when you weren't getting paid anyway. I think it's kind of them just finally telling you, oh, hey, by the way, stop showing up for work because you don't work here anymore.
Right. No. Well, hopefully we see them on AEW. I like we've been saying on this podcast that they'd be a perfect fit for that company. So we want to see that. Another thing I want to touch on real quick. Ronda Rousey has been getting kind of a little angry at WWE fans on the internet as of late, criticizing WWE fans and whatnot. Mike or Joe, either one of you guys. What exactly did she say that perturbed? Because they have fans speaking out, of course. You obviously have a couple wrestlers making some comments too. I heard Nia Jax make some comments recently too as well. In response to what Ronda Rousey said.
I don't know what exactly she said because I honestly couldn't give two craps about anything that she does say. Mm-hmm. She's kind of useless. I don't understand why. Someone who's 15 minutes of fame expired 20 minutes ago, and yet they're still around, and you really don't know why. Right. That's kind of where she's at this point.
Now, Mike was pissed off when this whole thing came out. Remember on the text, he was like,
"Oh yeah, no, he got some salt in his vagina, but not me." So, Mike, maybe you know what she said.
Yeah, go ahead, Mike. The floor is yours.
How did I have salt in my vagina? Because I told her that she could go live under her fucking rock.
Just embrace the salt. It's okay.
Yeah.
No, because I'm not fucking Maxwell Jacob Friedman. I am not the salt of the earth.
No, you're the salt of the vagina.
Yes, there we go. Yeah, so this bitch just cut this dry here. Basically,
Who could kick your ass for the record?
What is that, by the way, Mike? I hear some in the background. That's like a drink.
Let's go.
I'm drinking ice cubes and considering if I want to chew them on the air.
Oh, okay. No, go ahead.
Yeah. So Ronda puts out a podcast with somebody and says along the lines of, she will never make a full-time return to WWE because the fans are fucking ungrateful. Well, this ungrateful fucking fan that, spends his hard-earned money to pay for the network and who travels to the last 9 straight WrestleManias can tell you to go get lost. To say that these people are fake fighting when, you're someone who, the only reason why you were decent in mixed martial arts is because you were like the first woman to actually be decent. And the minute that actually some women actually learned what they were doing, you got your ass kicked. Go back to throwing people around in your judo outfit and like let the people that are like mixed martial artists, like Amanda Nunes and all them, let them fight, and then go away from wrestling because you're taking the spot of someone who actually could probably be fairly decent in the ring if you'd give them the opportunity to. That's but true. No, we can't. We got to shove Ronda Rousey down your throat because she was like this cool person that came out in Roddy Piper's jacket and came out with Joan Jett. How about you go the fuck away?
Here's my thing.
Because
go ahead.
Let the salt finish. Let the salt finish.
Hold them up, baby.
This bitch. At the end of the day, fake fighting. What is fake about it? The result? You go tell Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy, guys that have fallen off of 40-foot ladders for the last 15 years, what they do is fake. There have been less head, neck, and traumatic injuries, including paralyzations. There have been less in mixed martial arts than there have been in professional wrestling in the last 10 years. I guarantee it. You have a guy who basically went cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, like Chris Benoit, from brain trauma because of stuff that happens in that ring. At the end of the day, you can say that the result is predetermined. That means it is scripted. That does not mean that it is fake. So at the end of the day, the fact that you're discrediting every person that's come before you, from Andre to Hogan to Bruno Sammartino, to say fake fighting, how about you take your fake ass back to your farm, worry about your fucking goats, marry your husband, and fall off the face of the fucking earth.
Here's the thing about me. Like if it's so fake, then why are you involved? You know what I'm saying? Why are you involved in the company if it's so fake? I also wonder too,
because they wrote her a fat ass check. That's why.
Of course. Now here's the thing. Obviously, with the comments were pretty much out there. Now the rumors have been for the last couple of weeks that her and WWE are close to an agreement for another contract. Is it possible she works something to shoot? Just to kind of, once she gets back, this is going to be what they'll use a storyline based off this shit. I don't know.
I could see that being a thing. I could see them making her a heel out of these things. I do want to say one thing though, Mike. I kind of wish that when you were going down the list of all of the people that she offended in the history of pro wrestling, you had gone further back and you had been like to Abe Lincoln, to the bear that beat Abe Lincoln, to because they should all feel it. Like it was all.
Don't you dare disrespect fucking Honest Abe and Benjamin Button Bear.
Benjamin Button Bear.
Benjamin Button Bear.
Oh God. Well, I'm not. I think we'll see her. I think I believe. A part of me believes that this will be part of a storyline when she gets back.
Yeah, and then we have to sit through her having shitty matches again because she doesn't know how to wrestle.
What's funny? You know what's funny? Everybody talks to. Because again, I came back. Watching after 17 years, 2 months after Mania last year. Obviously, after Mania 35 last year, she was gone. She has been gone since. So I didn't get a chance to really watch her in real time. I saw the Mania match with her and Charlotte and Becky. Obviously, in hindsight, obviously I see why people don't like her. But everybody I talked to, who watches the product, they were not impressed with her.
But she can't wrestle, and honestly, she. It's almost dangerous, honestly. She clearly doesn't know what she's doing as a wrestling performer. She may know, she may know how to be an MMA fighter, but it's not the same thing. In fact, it's quite literally the opposite if you're trying to not hurt people. She's just really bad at it, honestly. And the thing is, even if she brought in any kind of non-wrestling fan, any kind of casual MMA viewer or something, if she brought someone in to check it out, they wouldn't continue watching it after seeing her wrestle because they'd be like, oh yeah, that's right, this is that fake shit because she makes it look fake.
Right.
Well, the problem.
Mm-hmm. I think she's taking space from somebody who could use a push, but this is me.
Yeah.
We don't agree with that. Anyway.
I mean, honestly, here's the other thing that annoys the shit out of me.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people, the whole before the give divas a chance thing, and me and Joe can attest to it since we've been going back and watching 2010, 2011, and 2012.
How's that going, by the way? Where are you at now on the bench?
Over the limit 2012.
Brock's return yet?
Yes.
Is Brock back yet?
No.
Okay.
He had his match at WrestleMania once in a lifetime. Spoiler alert, it was more than once.
Anyway.
But me and Joe have sat through terrible women wrestling.
Oh, God.
This is no offense to the in-ring talent. Then, because at the end of the day, they were still part of that, let's go get the really hot chicks that don't know what they're doing in the ring and put them on the TV screen. But some of them busted their ass to get better. Your Kelly Kellys, the
Bellas.
the Bellas got better. Beth Phoenix and Natalya were really like the strongboards in ring. Even to an extent, Eve attempted to get better.
Ugh.
But the fact of the matter is these are still women that were from the modeling or the acting landscape. Didn't have a bunch of physical, prowess coming into WWE. Ronda Rousey's a professional fighter, and she's worse in ring than Kelly Kelly was.
That's pretty bad.
How do you have a match against Nikki Bella, probably one of the most over divas at the time at Evolution for the title, and the match was a straight up fucking car crash? I mean, literally, she went to hit the little fucking spinny thing, and it looked like fucking she was gonna break Nikki's neck again.
I think from now on, when people ask me what my opinion is of Ronda Rousey, my go-to answer is going to be third favorite Funkadelic. Funkadactyl, whatever they were called.
I think she's got to be fourth. I think
okay, you put her fourth. Yeah.
I think you have to go Naomi, Cameron, or whatever her name was. Then you obviously have to go with the Funkadactyl himself, Brothers Clay.
And then Ronda Rousey's at the bottom. Ronda Rousey's like Punk, hold the role.
So she's like she's like in the Goldberg Ultimate Warrior category of bad wrestlers.
I think she's worse.
Okay, she's worse than that. Then oh my god, that's a.
I mean, I would say that she's more of like the Nails of women's wrestling.
Nails, that guy.
Yeah, she's the T.J. Hopper of women's wrestling.
Straight shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, you know how the show goes. Each of us come in every week with a take to debate for 15 or so minutes on the pod. All right. So, but today we have two takes. We already know the two takes I'm doing. I know mine's. Obviously, Joe's has his. Mike's coming in with a hot take that we don't know yet. It's coming out of nowhere. He quote unquote is going rogue today. The question is now, should that be the first one or to make it the last one?
No, you make me go last.
Okay,
that's
what I assumed. I think mine should go first. What do you think, Joe? Unless you want to
sure, go for it.
Okay,
go for it.
So my take, obviously, and to our listeners to this podcast, we apologize for not being able to do a WrestleMania recap last week. But the biggest takeaway, the biggest takeaways of the WrestleMania last week. And by the way, not a bad show considering the circumstances. By the way, Mike, get the clock going.
Yeah, sure, go.
Okay, go. Not a bad show, all considering. But the biggest highlights of the show last week, reading on the internet and everybody talking about the show, is the two quote unquote matches, which weren't really matches. There were cinematic features. We had on Saturday night one, we had the Boneyard match between Undertaker and AJ Styles, which got rave reviews, by the way. And I thought, oh my god, this is amazing. And then Hold My Beer, Firefly Funhouse was actually, in my opinion, better than the Boneyard match between Bray Wyatt and The Fiend and John Cena. So it got me thinking: should the WWE embrace this more often, doing these things, to climax storylines, having cinematic feature events? And to me, I'm for it as long as it's done, number one, correctly. First off, and it has to make sense. Number two, it can't be done all the time. It has to be done like maybe once a year, maybe twice a year, depending. It has to make sense. And I don't want this to be something where it's a regular thing. It's got to be something special. It makes sense for Undertaker because of his character, what he does, to do this. Okay, it makes sense because Bray Wyatt's, his whole thing, really, his strength is his character more than anything else. His character's stronger than his in-ring work. That's just a fact. But you shine on that, and I think I'm all for them doing this moving forward. I was impressed. Now, my question here to you guys is, I'm not sure if this is true or not. Was this the original plan? If WrestleMania this year was regular, 8,000 fans in Tampa, you guys have been there, of course, cheering your asses off. You know that. If we had a regular WrestleMania this year, would this have happened?
No.
Not a chance.
Yeah, zero chance.
You would have had John Cena versus Bray Wyatt in a match that lasted like 6 minutes, where the Fiend took like 3 AAs and an FU or whatever. Those are the same moves. 5-knuckle shuffle. He gets up, he pops up, hits him with the mandible claw, and that match is over. Styles versus Undertaker, they were able to make it to a cinematic masterpiece. I feel if that match would have happened in front of 80,000 people, I think we would have gotten Aleister Black and The Undertaker versus the OC.
Right.
Because I think they would have needed someone to carry the Undertaker side of offense in that match, personally. But the minute they were able to go with something a little bit different with Taker, it obviously made the addition of Aleister Black useless. And not as a slight against Aleister, but just from a standpoint of it didn't need it. For the record, I believe the Boneyard match was betterly cinematically done than the Firefly Funhouse, because the Firefly Funhouse was really like paying homage to like really bad things from the 80s and John Cena's ruthless aggression thing. But how many offensive moves did John Cena get in that match total? Like
none.
-3?
I don't think how much, if at all.
So
Okay. Here's my thing. I don't think either one of those were actually matches. I'm sorry. I have a problem. I have a problem referring to either one of them. And mind you, I enjoyed both of them immensely. I was extremely entertained by both of them. They were both works of art. I appreciate with the Firefly Funhouse. Try saying that 3 times fast. Damn. I appreciate that they went for humor. I appreciate that they went for a lot of the jokes that, these are the jokes that we make on these podcasts. These are the jokes that people make, when they do parody videos on YouTube and stuff. So, they went for it. I feel like if Chikara did the same thing, people would be like, this is brilliant. But sometimes people like to not give WWE the same credit for being able to make fun of themselves. I think in this situation, like they hit it. They hit it out of the ballpark. It was great. I found the Boneyard match to be very fun. I found it was hokey and it was crazy, but I mean everything Undertaker's hokey and crazy. We all just accept it because we really like the Undertaker, except for possibly Earnest. I don't know, but at the end, right? But like at the end of the day, neither one of those was a pro wrestling match. They were both sort of short films. They were both sort of skits, and I think that they were fantastic.
Weekly episodic drama.
Right. So to answer your question, to answer like whether or not they'll still do more of these, or if I think they should do more of these, I think it's almost a catch-22. I think it's a two-sided coin that are very different things, because I think they will. To a degree, I think you will see more things like this, especially in the near future. Because again, I don't mean to be pessimistic. I'm actually one of the most optimistic people that I personally know. I'm like optimistic prime. But at the end of the day, there's not going to be wrestling shows in front of live audiences probably until sometime in the year 2021. There's not going to be like it's not going to be safe to have those situations, to have 14,000 people in an arena. Like that's not going to be a thing that happens in our near future. So given that, I think that WWE, who clearly is intent on continuing to provide new content during this through this whole new world, let's just call it, they're going to have more opportunities where if they're not doing shows in front of audiences anyway, they might as well embrace this creative side and this ability to do. I mean, look, Undertaker could have a match every single month for the rest of the year because if they do the matches the way they did that, he doesn't have to worry about putting his body through taking bumps and stuff like that. He didn't have to take a single bump through any of that. He just had to be Clint Eastwood. You know what I mean? So, like, in a weird way, if you do more stuff like this, you can extend out careers. Like, you can have more Undertaker quote unquote matches. You can have, like, a lot of stuff like that. But at the same time, I don't think you're going to do that when you're back in a reality where you're doing these shows in front of live audiences because, like you said, there's zero chance that either of these matches would have gone down this way at WrestleMania if it hadn't been the situation that it is. Because you're not asking 70,000 people to look up at the screen and watch a 10-minute skit that is John Cena versus Bray Wyatt. You know, you're putting that in the ring. You're putting that in front of the crowd. So I think as long as there's no crowd, I think we see a lot of this. I think once crowds are back, this probably isn't going to be as common. This will be more like how Matt Hardy's used it over the years, like kind of specialty thing. But I think for the next year to year and a half, I think you might as well get used to seeing this because I think this may be the way pro wrestling gets to continue in its closest to like real form, which honestly says a lot about pro wrestling too because of all the things that have had to like shut down and everything, pro wrestling has tried to kind of roll with the punches and evolve for this new world. And, you know, you have AEW doing shows, you have WWE doing shows, you have them thinking outside the box, you have them doing different things, and that's what this is. And I bravo to them for that. And I'm done.
Yeah, I could definitely see it being a thing that they use periodically, in events like the case right now. But no, I don't think it's something that you'll see fairly frequently once you get more people in the audience. The other thing that you have to remember, you know, they kind of used it similarly on Wednesday night in the Gargano Ciampa soiree. You know, they really just kind of let them talk through the match. There wasn't any commentary over it. You know, they let those guys kind of have the blank canvas to really let that be the end of Gargano versus Ciampa.
And you know what's funny? And I think I've said this to you. I don't know if I said it in the group text, but I definitely said it to you, Mike. I almost feel like Ciampa and Gargano, like this was the perfect way to end their feud because they've done so many things and so many matches in front of audiences that I don't know where you could have gone with it in front of an audience. So putting it into this special setting, albeit, you know, kind of based on circumstance as opposed to just a gimmick, but putting it into this empty arena, filming it the way they did, telling that story the way they did, I think it actually helped that match matter more than it would have if it was just another Gargano and Ciampa match in a ring in front of an NXT TakeOver crowd.
Yeah, I agree with you. I feel like this had to be the way that this ended. Empty arena, let these two guys paint this final chapter, this final canvas piece, and let it be the thing that kills this. Now, not to move from that topic, but what happens next with the two of them?
With Ciampa and Gargano?
Yeah, where do they go?
Didn't I mention on the text that you can see Gargano getting called up now? Was it one of you guys said that?
I don't move Gargano though.
Right.
I move Ciampa.
Wasn't it like a loser leaves NXT match?
It was not a loser leaves town match.
It wasn't. Okay.
It was. This is the last time that these two guys will face each other. Any other contact between them after this match, they'll be gone.
Okay.
So basically, it's finish this and then leave each other the fuck alone.
Right.
I would put
Ciampa on SmackDown.
I said I would love to see Ciampa on SmackDown, and that's
I agree.
I'll be honest with you, they're lacking a star power on SmackDown. To be honest with you,
but I also want to keep Johnny on NXT because he is Mr. NXT.
Yeah. I think they're lacking. I think they need a spark on SmackDown. To be honest with you. And with Roman now not wanting to deal with this because of the situation, and this may go into later in the year to next year possibly. So you're going to see less of Roman now on TV, and that's the biggest star on that brand. They need the most. They need more a spark, if you will. I don't think Braun Strowman.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you, for the next, until this is all over, as long as shows are being done exclusively at the Performance Center in Orlando, like the biggest stars on all three brands, or I guess 4 brands, because 205 Live is producing shows too that are still pretty good actually. But I think the biggest stars in WWE are going to be the people that are local to Florida and live in Orlando and all that. That's why. And it's interesting because it's creating opportunities that like Austin Theory kind of went from being a random dude in Evolve to being one of the main stars on WWE television in the last week in a matter of like a night. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't know that doesn't happen without this situation. He kind of lucked into this because he is a local there. He's training at the Performance Center, and now all of a sudden, you know, he's on Raw and he was on WrestleMania, and I think like he gets to become a big star out of this. I think that's going to happen this year. Like I think you're going to see that a little bit more than we might expect.
Well, I mean, look at the bracket or the groups for the cruiserweight, basically the best of the Super Junior, as we called it in our private chat, Joe. Jake Atlas, who just got signed to the roster like 2 months ago, is in it. Like El Phantasmo, who just got signed to the roster and obviously is living in Orlando now. So it's like there's 2 guys right there that have not made a NXT or main roster debut that are going to debut in the Cruiserweight interim tournament thing. And
have like at least 3 matches on TV.
One of them, and I'm guessing, like I said, is especially not El Phantasmo, because that's not it. I don't know what his name is. The whoever's in Group B, I could see him winning a match or 2, maybe even getting to the finals.
Yeah.
From that group, to go up against like Kushida or something like that for the interim title. I mean, that's the thing. There's Jake Atlas could very easily win 2 matches and fight in like the quote finals.
Interesting. All right. Anything else on the topic, or?
If you want to be a professional wrestler in WWE, go live in Orlando.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll say one thing, and I said this to you guys, and since we have time anyway, I'll say it. I think one of the things I enjoyed about the Boneyard match, again, I still feel really weird calling it a match, but whatever.
Contest?
Contest or whatever. It reminded me of the comic books that came out when I was a kid. That would be like WWE character. Like it'd be like the Mountie and the Big Boss Man, and they'd be fighting like on the side of a mountain because that makes sense. And like that's what this reminded me of. It was like live action version of like what they would do in the WWF comic book in like 1992.
I could see that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun, if nothing else.
Alrighty, I guess that's it, right? I'm assuming. Alrighty.
40 seconds.
40 seconds.
Oh.
Blah 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 blah. I kept hearing also too that, you know, for years we've been hearing about this idea of having Undertaker and Sting match.
You could do that as one of these like cinematic. Neither
and I feel like that's the one spot
bump.
you can do that would make sense.
Right.
Yeah, another home match.
I mean,
I'm gonna tell you something. If WrestleMania 37 has to be 5 nights and, you know, and in front of no fans also, they need to give us Sting versus The Undertaker in some sort of directed by Martin Scorsese match. Like
Scorsese, absolutely. I'm game for that. All right, man. We'll go to Joe's take, which I believe is on John Cena.
Yes. All right, so this will hopefully be a fun one, and I stole this off Facebook. I saw it. As you all saw, part of that fun Firefly. I can't say it. Wow, I just can't. I can't. Anyway, as part of John Cena's match at WrestleMania, there was a moment where they had John Cena come out as, you know, as the Hollywood Hogan of some sort of Mandela Effect universe NWO. And I thought that I saw on Facebook someone posted, I don't know if this is a thing that WWE shared or if someone else came out with it, but the question was, and I'm going to propose it to you guys, and I have my answer, but I want to see what you guys say. Who would be in John Cena's NWO? And it's up to you guys if you want to answer it exclusively as if, like, who would be his Hall and Nash. It's up to you guys if you want to break it out further and be like, who would be his, Horace Hogan and Virgil or Vincent or whatever. If you want to spread it out to an NWO B team or whatever, that's fine. But who would you do? I thought that was fun. So who would be in John Cena's NWO if it started like today?
Well, let me get mine out of the way because mine's stupid. Because unfortunately, I didn't watch that era as much. I'm still, as we speak, getting hip to ruthless aggression. All that stuff, all that shit. So, the two guys.
Today's roster.
Oh, I didn't think about that. I just
Today.
used the era.
If John Cena came out in front of a crowd of nobody on Monday Night Raw and was like, nah, for real, I'm restarting the NWO, who would be in his NWO?
It's so tough because, first off, the NWO is a heel faction, and John Cena's nothing.
Yes.
He's not a heel. So who would he match up with as a heel? I mean, I've never seen him as a heel. So, okay.
15,000. He went all in.
The two guys I had on the list, and it's stupid because, like, one of these guys he's definitely a rival with in the 2000s was Randy Orton.
Okay.
Okay, and the other guy was Edge. But again, it doesn't make sense for me because Orton was a rival.
No, it doesn't make. I actually kind of dig that. But what's your reasoning for those guys?
Well, I think Randy Orton, he even though he's a great heel, obviously, sometimes you can. I mean, was Orton ever babyface? Maybe the time he left Evolution that one time, he was a face.
Yes, they tried.
Right. So you gotta be someone with a tweener to make this work.
Yes.
And
Fair.
Orton, but also somebody who has an impact. And Randy Orton has gone through a couple of eras already now in the last 17, 18 years. So it makes sense here. Edge is back. Edge has played both roles also too, as well. But again, I probably would put more thought. If I knew I could have used this era, I would probably put a little more thought into it.
Honestly, I like your answer.
Okay.
I didn't even think in that direction.
Right.
That would be a kick-ass heel, older guy stable right now.
I almost put Brock in there too because he's an alum from OVW.
Right.
But I was like, nah, I can't. Because the only reason I probably put Brock in there is because of Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman would be a great mouthpiece for the group.
Well, he'd be like the Eric Bischoff.
Yeah, exactly, Eric Bischoff. So you know what? Fuck it. Let's put Brock in there. So Brock with Bischoff. Bischoff was not with Bischoff. Brock with Heyman. Heyman played a Bischoff role, but better.
I mean, I'll give you this. You definitely just created the most dominant stable since the original NWO with Cena, Orton, Edge, and Brock Lesnar.
But to me though, if you're doing this, in my opinion personally, now you guys may have a different list here.
Yeah.
Although we might agree also on this too, it can't be the NWO in 1998. When you had fucking 15 guys in there. To me, the NWO is literally Hogan, Hall, Nash, Bischoff. And I'll give you the Giants.
Right.
That's it.
Hold on, you got to give him 6-Pac if anybody.
Oh, 6. Okay, fine, 6. Fine. Oh, 1, 2, 3 Kid.
I'll check.
With Sean Waltman.
Oh my god.
It got weird. Once Savage got in there, it got weird.
It did. Especially because it made no sense when he joined because he had just been feuding with them for
okay. Oh, we hate you guys. We're cool now. Get the fuck out of here, dude.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Mike.
All right, so mine's gonna be a little weird.
Of course it is.
Because of what happened this week in the land of professional wrestling. This question was labeled to us or given to us prior to the release of the Revival. So my NWO with John Cena would be Scott Dawson, Dash Wilder, John Cena, Tommaso Ciampa, and Austin Theory.
You put a lot of thought in that one, brother. You put a lot of thought in that one.
Austin Theory plays the role. Actually, you wanted the funny part?
Yeah.
The only people that I actually put in thought were the Revival, and I didn't put Ciampa because we were talking about him, and Austin Theory because he can play the role of Six Pac.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So you have Cena playing the role of Hogan, you have the Revival as the Outsiders, you have Ciampa as the Psychopath, and then you have the ability to play the role of
Six Pac.
yeah, exactly.
I like
thought it
it.
was cool.
I
I
got
thought
Joe's.
it was great. I thought it was a great depth
Yeah.
on that end.
Honestly,
You know,
I don't hate it, man.
You got
I
some
don't hate
depth on
it.
that roster.
I don't hate it, to be honest with you. I don't hate it.
I like it.
I still
All
hate
right.
it, man. Who's the rival?
I'll give you mine.
Okay.
I put a bit of thought into this too, and I was so obviously in my mind you have to fill the Hall and Nash roles,
Right.
and I wanted to get as close to filling them as possible. So I decided to go with one guy who looks like he really needs to take a shower, but is a really good wrestler to replace our Scott Hall. And I decided to go with another guy who was really talented, but maybe wasn't the most successful champion, but is really tall, and a lot of people seem to find really attractive, even though I don't necessarily understand why. So, and that's our Kevin Nash. So yeah. I would put John Cena alongside Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. That would be my NWO right there. And I would throw in Zack Ryder just because we've been watching 2012 WWE and John Cena and Zack Ryder are like best friends. So he's like my what was Brutus Briefcake's name in the NWO?
Disciple.
The disciple, yeah. Zack Ryder is the disciple to John Cena's Hollywood Hogan. And just throw in Sean Waltman, because you know what? If you're gonna have six, let's just get six. So just get Sean Waltman out there in like his weird like old man grandpa role. He can bring his dog. It'll be fun.
Joe, who's your Horace Hogan replacement?
Oh.
Jesus. That was so bad.
Oh man. Oh, that's like it's like Jinder Mahal or somebody. Like,
Put Ricochet, so someone doesn't matter anymore.
oh my god, I like Ricochet. Mike, thoughts on Ricochet?
Oh Lord, here we go.
Fuck that guy.
I knew it. Here you go. Horace Hogan. Oh my god, it was his nephew, right? Was that his nephew?
Yeah, something like that.
Some weird
I
time.
think he held the camera for his home movie.
So let's have this question real quick.
Go ahead.
It got brought into my attention by the cohort here, Craig Horn.
Because we're the one show that has an audience.
Yeah, exactly.
Bing bang.
Hold on now. Oh, that's what it was. I want to make an amendment to my NWO and add another member.
Okay.
See, why are you
They
doing
had
that?
40. Go for it.
Well, yeah, 6 guys now or 5 right now currently.
I currently have the Revival, Cena, Theory, and Ciampa. So I have 5.
So, I'm getting dangerous now.
Joining as the 6th member of the Bernier Cena New World Order, playing the role of Dennis Rodman.
Oh God.
Oh my God.
Rob Gronkowski.
Look, Gronk is a great dude, no doubt about that. But I'm very tired of him. I'm already tired of Gronk.
Why?
I don't know, dude.
You're an idiot.
Okay, you want to get heel heat on the group? You put in Ronda Rousey.
Rousey, yeah.
That'll make people mad. I love the Gronk idea. Actually, that was smart. I didn't even think of filling the Rodman role.
It is creative. It's just a little overkill of Gronk these days. I don't know.
Oh, you better get used to it. That man's gonna be world champion in like a year.
Don't do that. Don't do that. 'Cause then that.
You just better hope that he can wrestle better than Ronda Rousey can.
Well, Ronda Rousey set the bar so low as you guys said she did. I mean, it should be a problem, right? I mean.
Oh, yeah. I mean, she set the bar so low that like ants are coming to it and ordering drinks. But that's besides the point. I'm just saying, get used to Rob Gronkowski. He's going to be a fixture for a very long time.
I don't mind him being around. It's just he's like a lot to handle. Like, oh my God, coming to dancing and shit.
I hear Tom Brady used to say the same thing.
Hey man, Gronk's the GOAT though, man. So I'm not gonna hate on that. meant to ask you guys. I saw something. How much time left on this topic, Mike?
4 minutes and 40
Okay, quick swerve because I think it's something I texted you guys last week, but then my buddies on Facebook today was posting about this stuff. The 3 greatest fractions in history. Maybe we do. Maybe it's a future episode we do this, but some of these fans are so stupid. Like my buddy puts out 3 biggest factions in history of WWE, and yeah, one guy put in the 4 Horsemen. Like, dude, they were never in WWE to begin with. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, Jesse, watch wrestling? Like, what was the other ones they had there? And surprisingly enough, DX didn't get a lot of love at all, and it makes sense. And it makes sense actually. Think about it.
Yeah, I guess.
I didn't hear what you said. Repeat it for me.
Okay, so we'll do a list of people that my buddy put a list asking for, top 3 factions in the history of WWE. And I was surprised that not a lot of people put DX in there. I was surprised.
And
I agree. And I actually agree. I actually agree with that.
Well, here's the thing. The problem with putting DX in there is legitimately.
Get first place.
Legitimately, you have to figure. There was like 13 different variety packs of the of DX. Like, are we only talking about the one that had China and Rick Rude in it, like the original DX, where they were like these band of misfits? Or are we talking about this like watered down version that also had like X-Pac and the Road Dogg and Billy Gunn and Kane and Tori?
Yeah, I mean,
I think there's too much going on. Like when I think of faction, I think of, I know the Horsemen weren't there, and I know you mentioned them, but like I feel like you think Horsemen. You think Evolution, the Dangerous Alliance, the Nation of Domination. Those were factions that were in WWE that were like their guys, and it was like set group, didn't really branch off into too much craziness, and it was like those guys. So if I had to pick WWE factions, Nation, Heart Foundation, and probably Evolution.
Our foundation. That's interesting.
Okay, wait. To be fair, there were at least 10 different versions of the Horsemen.
It doesn't matter. We still had a core. Ric Flair's the core, right? Ric Flair and
Yeah, Ric Flair was always there, and I guess Arn Anderson was always there too. But I'm just saying though, like if we're gonna criticize DX, and I agree with you guys. Actually, I think that like to me the only version of DX that actually was any good was Shawn, Hunter, and China.
Kind of glad I agree with that one. I never liked the DX with the Outlaws and X-Pac. I hated that one actually.
Yeah, no. It became a comedy act as opposed to like the top heels in the company. They totally just watered it down, like Mike was saying before. But I'm just saying, like it's funny because I feel like a lot of people don't remember the fact that like the Horsemen, and when a lot of people think of the Horsemen, you think of a certain 4. But there were actually a whole lot of versions. I mean, at one point, the 4 Horsemen were Flair, Brian Pillman, and Brian Pillman was in it. That's my point. Like, I mean, that's how many different versions of the Horsemen there were. The
only, I actually like Mike that mentioned Heart Foundation. The only reason why I wouldn't put in my top 3 is they weren't together long enough. They were together for what, like 5 months? Of the 5 guys.
Yeah.
Hart goes heel in Mania 13. About a month later, he gets together with Owen and and the guys and all that, and they kind of had that little 4-month run, and then after that, it tailed off. They didn't matter anymore, and Brett leaves. Like,
Hart was gone. Yeah.
Had it stayed longer, I would have said keep them in there. DX's peak really, honestly, was the beginning when they had the Shawn Triple H in China, and that was what, October till Mania 14. Was it 6 months?
Yeah.
That's it. I can't put them in there. Like to me, the biggest factions of all time, in my opinion. And I know you and I debated this actually on tech a couple weeks ago. The Heenan family, although you wouldn't call them a faction, but that was a faction back in the '80s, and that was a huge faction. Bundy, Andre, Rude, Perfect. That's got to get some love, and they lasted years too, as a unit.
Yeah.
So me, the Shield, obviously we discussed. I asked you how important the Shield were. You guys say it's top, arguably greatest of all time, arguably. I'll put them in the top 3 also too, and Evolution, in my opinion.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I for one am very curious about this mystery topic we're getting
I am
slapped
too.
in the face with.
All right, Michael. Bring it home.
All right.
Reset the clock. Gladiator's ready. Reset the clock. Gladiator's ready. Gladiator's ready. Contender's ready. All right. So
Nice.
I decided that because I like going Rogue One because it's what I do. Yay me. All right. So my
Wait,
topic, I went
dead
back and forth,
silent.
and I'll tell you. Well, because I was also in the middle of typing something.
Oh.
I went back and forth, and I told Joe what the other choice was. I didn't tell him which one I was picking. The other choice was similar to Joe's NWO topic, but it was going to be who would you have picked as the third member from WCW to be the member of the NWO? Like, you couldn't pick Hogan. It had to be somebody different. Who would it be and why? But then Joe reminded me that he has the John Cena topic, and I was like, well, let's not add another NWO topic.
Let's say that for a couple weeks from now, maybe. Yeah.
No, maybe we'll do it never. Who knows? So my topic and my question to you, gentlemen, going back to any event in North America, basis with North America, because if not, me and Joe could break out some other things, and it'd be fucking crazy because you wouldn't know what the hell we're talking about.
Exactly.
Trying to make this smart. So that being said, if you could go back in time to any one event, or actually, you know what? I'll give you guys a parameter. You guys can pick up to 3 to be in the audience for that are not WrestleManias. Which shows would they be, and why?
Ooh. Okay. Damn.
Yeah, I told you. Get wrecked.
I am wrecked. Fuck. Seriously, I am wrecked.
Do you want a minute to think? Because I got a couple of answers.
Go ahead, Joe. You got a couple answers? Go ahead.
Well, okay. So two of my biggest life regrets are never having attended a WCW or an ECW show. WCW I never got to go to because, frankly, grew up in Brooklyn. It's not like they played Madison Square Garden. I think they might have done a couple of shows at like the theater at Madison Square Garden, but I don't remember that being on my radar as like an 8-year-old. And like I think they did some shows at like the Nassau Coliseum, but again, like that's like, that wasn't a place that I was getting to at the age of like 10. Like that just wasn't going to happen. So I never got to attend any WCW shows as a kid, and they were out of business by the time I was, let me put it like this. The very first time I ever went to a wrestling show by myself, a Ring of Honor show, was in 2004. WCW went out of business in 2001. So obviously I never got the chance to go. Same thing with ECW. And to be fair, I think I would have been scared shitless at an ECW show. I think that crowd would have scared me to levels that I can't quite explain. But I've been to a CZW show, so I mean, maybe not. But anyway, and I've been to the ECW arena like a million times to see other companies, to see Ring of Honor, to see Chikara, to see CZW. I even went to a WXW show there once. And it's still it's cool to have gone to see a show at the ECW arena, but it's not the same thing as having gone to see an ECW show there. So I guess if I had the 2 events I'm going to pick, because I will pick specific events for each of these, but just giving you the guidelines of why these were easy for me to go to. My mind is going to Super Brawl 2 for WCW. And I know that seems like early WCW. Like, I know it seems like I should probably have wanted to be at like late 90s WCW or, I almost feel weird saying like Starrcade 97 because I know, Mike, you were actually at Starrcade 97. So it feels it's like way too like in the realm of possibility.
Yes.
That was Sting and Hogan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was at the quote MCI Center.
Yeah, it was DC, right? I remember that.
So I'm choosing Super Brawl 2 because, let's be honest, it kind of would have been really cool to be in the audience for Brian Pillman and Jushin Liger and their classic match,
Need more Liger.
Always. And it would have been cool to just be at a WCW show at some point. And an ECW show, I don't know the actual show. I can tell you it's in 1996. Around summertime, maybe in a Heat Wave or Hardcore Heaven. It's one of those shows. My favorite wrestling match of all time is a 4-way elimination match between Shane Douglas, Pitbull number 2, Chris Jericho, and Too Cold Scorpio for the TV title on that show. Literally my favorite pro wrestling match of all time. I can't think of any reason why I wouldn't want to be at that show, other than the fact that it would have been an ECW show and I probably would have been scarred for life, both physically and emotionally. But otherwise, that's got to be on my list. So those two, and I don't do lists very well, so I'm just giving you those two. Ernest, it's your turn.
All right. So I put some thought into this one a little bit. There's a lot of
In the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, last 5 minutes, literally. And I'm looking at obviously this is not anything that's not WrestleMania said. That was the criteria.
That is the criteria.
Right. So this is what I picked. I picked first off WCW Bash at the Beach 1996. I remember watching it in real time and I thought, dude, can you imagine being there with all the shit, debris being thrown at Hogan and Hall and Nash, just being in that environment when I was going on, and I watched it in real time and I was like fucking floored. So I can't imagine being there in person. And see the business change before your eyes. So that would have been number one for me. Another one I would love to have been to, which a buddy of mine went to actually way back when, Bad Blood 1997. That was obviously the first Hell in a Cell between HBK and Undertaker. He said it was a phenomenal event, obviously just being in person. And I'm going to go left field here with this one. I would have loved to have been to the Saturday night's main event from October 1987. That was when the Madison Mania first met. First shook hands.
Interesting.
And not a bad card either of matches too.
So like you would have had to have been there like 3 weeks earlier because it was definitely recorded.
Well, right, of course. But yeah, right, of course, yeah. But yeah, but based on the date they put it out. But yeah.
I mean, I don't want you sitting in a blank, empty arena
by myself.
No reason on a date that there's nothing going on.
I'm there in Hershey, PA by myself.
You, buddy.
What the fuck, dude? I told you time machine October 3rd, 1987. What the fuck? So that's my 3. That's
all
cool
right.
though. Starrcade 87, bro. That's cool.
Hell yeah, that was excellent.
Isn't that really cool? Like,
and a good match, and a good match too. That was a great match.
No, it wasn't. But I'm jealous.
I enjoyed it. I
love the fact that Joe's like, no, it wasn't.
That wasn't a good match.
I mean, it wasn't Ricochet great. Come on now, but
Oh my
God, why?
Ricochet? You should be happy, Mike. He's getting fucking drowned on the roster, dude. Now he's doing tag team action on Raw.
Yeah, I mean, well, you know what happened? Vince McMahon passed him by in the hallway one day and was like, "Yo, you want Tebow with me?"
Hey, pal.
I was listening to this podcast and I heard that you turned down this kid's Tebow, and so go fuck yourself.
Go fuck yourself, pal.
All right, so I've thought long and hard about this one, and there are events that took place that you go back and you want to be a part of, and you want to be there for. So my first pick is representing the ECW brand.
Ooh, I like.
It is from Asbury Park, New Jersey. It is the night that Bam Bam Bigelow put Taz through the ring.
That's a
it
great
is Living
show.
Dangerously 1998.
That's a really good show.
Interesting.
Jerry Lynn and Chris Chetty versus... Hold on.
Out of dead air here.
All right. Hold on. No, I again dealing with something via text message. Great fun. Jerry Lynn and Chris Chetty versus the FBI. We had some fun with Rob Van Dam versus Too Cold Scorpio. New Jack and Spike Dudley versus the Dudley Boys and the Hardcore Chair Swinging Freaks in a 3-way dance. That was fun. Tommy Dreamer versus Just Incredible. Bam Bam versus Taz in the ECW title television title match. Sabu versus Salmon in a dueling Canes match. And the main event was Shane Douglas and Chris Candido with Francine versus Al Snow and Lance Storm.
That's a good,
that.
I watched that not too long ago. It's a really good show.
So, big fan of that one.
I wish they had told us. I wish I got warned this more. I'd love to put some more time in that list. Cause I could have done a deep dive on a couple of Raws I want to have been to. And
No, you get nothing. No.
Fuck.
This is penalty for not being able to figure out how to get us a WrestleMania show.
Well, how much time do I left on the clock right now?
I don't know. I'm not talking about it. I'm out.
Great.
I haven't even finished.
Great Mania.
I haven't even finished my other two. You're trying to change my subject.
Oh shit, my bad. Go ahead.
Yeah, get wrecked. My choice from the WWE is one that's taken place in the last 10 years, 11 years. It is from Chicago. It is Money in the Bank 2011.
Yes.
The night CM Punk took the world title, left. I loved it. It was great. Thought it was a great contest. Big fan of it. I think it was one of the better matches.
Mark right now, actually. No, you mentioned it.
That match was incredible.
2011, you said?
Yeah. No, I mean, that Cena Punk match is literally one of the top 3 best matches in WWE history.
Would you say that that's his biggest rival of his career? Cena's rival is CM Punk?
I think it might be his best rival in terms of in-ring quality. Like, it's the person that probably brought out the best in him, Shawn Michaels being a close second. I actually think that if you, I honestly think of Orton more when I think of, major rivals to Cena. But their matches were shit half the time. So, I mean, Punk is the guy that actually, got, Cena to, step up his game.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that.
I'm actually watching it right now.
Yeah. Enjoy that match. It's one of the best matches, I don't know, ever.
Really? Okay. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, that match has so many different peaks and valleys and crescendos that get you from, oh my god, is this really going to happen, to, oh my god, it actually happened, to, oh my god, is it going to happen again?
Yep. That match has everything.
But CM Punk he's a tweener, wasn't he? A tweener, right?
CM Punk was CM Punk. That's all he really was.
Yes, that is so the right way to put that.
Okay.
I mean, people wanted to root for Punk because he was the I do what I want. But people also were like, yay, he's fighting Cena, and if Cena loses, he's fired. So it's really like he is himself. He is CM Punk. He's not a face. He is not a heel, because I highly doubt anyone's ever going to fucking boo him anyways. But, yeah. I don't think that there's a way that you could legitimately tell me straight to my face right now that match isn't probably one of the best matches of all time.
In terms of character, I feel like Punk was almost in that Austin realm, but that's getting away from the topic. I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah.
And in one that I've gone back and forth on, and I've legitimately thought about how I'm going to do this. It is representing Ring of Honor. Because I love me some old school ROH. I love me some good old fashioned Ring of Honor from the early days.
The ice.
Yep.
Hold on, I'm trying to find the full card, but it's not really loading.
I'm half curious if this is a show that I was at.
You might have been. What
year is it?
2005.
What, is it in New York?
No, I don't think so.
If it wasn't in New York, then I probably wasn't there.
All right, so this event took place in Edison, New Jersey.
Okay, maybe.
On December 17th, 2005. It is Final Battle.
I was not at that show.
It includes, for the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions, the tag team of Generation Next, Austin Aries and Roderick Strong, versus Sal Rinauro and Tony Mamaluke. It includes a 4-corner survival match including Jay Lethal, BJ Whitmer, Christopher Daniels, and Samoa Joe. In a
That's
Ring of
funny.
Honor Pure Wrestling title match, Nigel McGuinness retains over the then known as Claudio Castagnoli, a.k.a. Cesaro. The Ring of Honor World title match was Bryan Danielson versus Nemonichi Marufuji. Easy for me to say. And the main
I think it
event...
might be Naomichi.
Yeah, that one. And in the main event for the GHC Junior Heavyweight, I'm on CageMatch.net, something that I frequent.
Yeah. It must have a ridiculously high review.
9.51 out of 10.
Wow.
There are 34 valid votes. 27 of them have it as a 10-star.
They couldn't go higher than that?
9 of them have it as 7, and there's nothing under 7.
Man, classic.
And this
Ring of Honor.
includes other matches on the show that include Jimmy Rave with Prince Nana versus Milano Collection AT.
Nice.
Colt Cabana versus Azriel, and Alex Shelley versus Steve Corino. Oh, and Ricky Reyes versus Davey Andrews. Yeah, give me 2005 Final Battle.
Yeah, I'm sort of surprised I wasn't at that show because Edison, New Jersey.
Okay, Mike, I'll give it to you. Here you go.
That's what I was saying. That show fucking.
It's actually a nice fucking roster.
Honestly, the only other one that I probably could have put in contention for Final Battles from Ring of Honor was probably Final Battle 2008.
I think I was at that one.
That was Bryan versus Marufuji with the Fight Without Honor.
Yeah, that was it, and that was at the Hammerstein.
Were you?
Yep.
Yeah, I was at that. I was at 2007 and 2008. I might have even been at there was a while where I was at every Final Battle.
Oh, and the other one that was probably one that was the final night of Bryan and McGuinness.
That was a Glory by Honor, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I was at that.
Yeah, that one would have been another one to see. Yeah, the 2008 Final Battle opening contest: Kenny Omega versus Cesaro.
Yep.
Four corner survival. Jerry Lynn.
Wow, really?
Sono with Larry Sweeney, 12 large. Rest in peace, buddy. Necro Butcher and Rhett Titus. The Ring of Honor World Tag Team titles: The Age of the Fall, Delirious and Jimmy Jacobs versus the upstart young tag team of a young man by the name of Kevin Steen and Sammy El Generico Zane.
Back when he wasn't annoying. I like that.
Yeah. A 6-man tag team street fight that featured Brett Albright, Eric Stevens, and Roderick Strong versus Sweet and Sour Inc. of Davey Richards, Eddie Edwards, and Go Shiozaki.
Not for nothing, that match is fucking awesome, and it has no good reason to be.
No, it's a fucking car crash.
It's a great match.
Absolutely. Tag match between the Briscoes and Kensuke Office of Katsuhiko Nakajima and Kensuke Sasaki.
Whatever happened to those guys?
I don't know. The Ring of Honor #1 contender match between Austin Aries and the now Seth Rollins.
Yep.
The Ring of Honor World Title match between a guy who I've talked about on the show that does not get enough credit for as good as he was in ring, and really, I wish he was still wrestling, and that is Nigel McGuinness. He defended against Marufuji. And then the main event was Daniel Bryan versus Takeshi Morishima in a Fight Without Honor.
Yep.
And that Fight Without Honor, that was like Ciampa Gargano times 70.
It really was. I wish
I need to dip into this Ring of Honor matches from yesterday.
Network
Seriously,
had all this old
great
stuff
talent.
on because I would subscribe to that in a heartbeat.
I would binge watch all the Final Battles. I would just watch all the Final Battles.
Yeah, same. I would watch so much of this stuff over.
The main event of Final Battle 2003 was the prophecy of Christopher Daniels and Dan Moff versus the Great Muta and Arashahi.
Okay, to be fair, that show actually wasn't all that great. But
yes, but Great Muta.
I know. No, I know. But what I'm saying is, what's funny is I've been to so many Ring of Honor shows, and I haven't been to one in a long time now. But there was a time where I used to go to so many Ring of Honor shows that, I've seen classic matches that I've forgotten that I saw. I legitimately forgot that I saw Bryan Danielson versus Kenta in New York City in, 2006. But I was there. I saw that,
There, guys.
Yeah, I was there. Unlike WrestleMania this year, I was there.
We were not there this year.
No. Yep.
He was there. He was there.
You were there like Samuel Vega there? That's okay. Yeah, I'll go quick. MVP this week, John Cena. Cause I heard that he signed off on that on the way that whole thing went out, the Firefly Funhouse match, quote unquote match. That was all him.
I'm not surprised.
He really was signed up on everything on that one, and putting Ray White over. So yeah, makes you think also too. Is this the last of Cena? I say no, but you never know. I had a bet between Undertaker and Cena who would likely retire after this week. It'd be Cena, but I think Taker bought himself 4 years as a result of what he did last week. But yeah, John Cena, man, put him over. And I mean, for fuck's sake, he lost Mania this year. Technically, he lost fucking Mania 2 years ago to Taker.
Mike.
I don't know, man.
MVP.
Hold on, I gotta rate Ernest.
I gotta give him credit, man.
Do you want me to spell it for you? C-E...
Keeping track.
Can't see sign.
No. Just put like a C in the little.
All right, so
you
mine.
Can't see me.
I heard you talk about this fine individual. I've defended this individual to my gills, and wow, I said this fine gentleman.
Oh, I was gonna say Rousey.
Oh,
you're calling Rousey a guy? Go fuck yourself, bro. All right. Back to the real point at hand here. I'm talking about the good name Otis Dozovich. He finally got his hands on that goddamn prick Dolph Ziggler. He got his peach. He worked out with her. They put great pictures on SmackDown. Otis is the MVP of the week. He had his WrestleMania moment. Oh yeah.
Yes.
I like it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, right.
No.
My
Joe,
MVP
your
this
MVP
week
should be
is
the
actually going to be the top of the WWE Performance Center production truck, because between the Orton and Edge match and the Gargano and Ciampa match, the top of the truck saw more action this week than most people are seeing right now during social distancing. So, MVP right there.
Oh, no.
Right down, Mikey.
Joe told me who his MVP was 3 days ago.
All right, that will do it. Oh, huh?
Word for word.
Word for word, verbatim.
Oh, you did?
I literally just sent him back the Shia LaBeouf clapping really
That's
fast
insane.
because
Anyway.
I couldn't stop trying to send him anything else.
There we go, guys.
Yeah, so
promote your podcast.
I have 2 episodes in the bank for a review of 2011 pay-per-views. I haven't released it yet because I need to go back and do some editing because it's like a 3-hour show, dude. I got to go back and splice it and edit it.
What the fuck?
It was.
So that'll be up. Hopefully, episode 1 will be up this week. Episode 2 will be up probably later in the week once I can actually sit down and edit it on my computer.
And then there's no sports, so there's no super crazy sports spectacular.
I mean, we may just have to just make a show of like, I don't know, the simulated football league or something like that, just so we can actually have something to talk about. Unfortunately, I would do a full episode on the death of the XFL.
Horse.
But that's just too emotional for me. So.
Too soon.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Way too soon. So.
Let's do it.
That's it.
I'm not.
So I guess
I'm not
next
getting
week's.
my hopes up because
I guess next week, same bad time, same bad channel. Alrighty.
I'm not getting mad. I'm just saying someone's gonna screw it up. It's what we do.
Look, we'll figure a time out next week. Ernest, I'll send you money for a babysitter. We'll record at like 2 p.m. on Monday. It'll work out fine.
No, I like the Sunday still.
Sunday's
Sunday's still great. I've been doing it for the last 4 months now.
We'll see. We'll figure it out.
Oh, are you getting tired of Sundays now?
What Jackson said. He's on my side.
All right, figure it out. All right, guys. For Mike, Joe, I'm Earnest Christian.
Yes.
Yeah,
we'll do that.
Jax.
Deuces.
All right, fellas, have a good week. Stay safe as always, and we'll come back next week, hopefully. All right, bye.